In 1823, a covered wagon team assembled and prepared at a prearranged location near Louisville, Kentucky, for a 1,000-mile trip south, through largely uncharted and unfriendly territory, all the way to Texas. The covered wagon train that would set out for Texas the following day consisted of American farmers and settlers vetted and chosen by the Stephen Austin Company as the first American settlers in the Mexican state of Texas. These families were part of the original Old 300, the first legal settlers in Texas. And, in the back of one of those wagons was a young, 11-year-old girl who someday would contribute her part to the Texas cause during its revolution. History remembers this young girl as Sarah Dodson. Welcome to TVC History. My name is Hayden Armstrong. I'm your Texas History Ambassador, and today, we have to talk about a young lady in our Texas history who possibly had the most direct influence on the final design of our Texas state flag. Join us today as we present our video presentation about a brave revolutionary woman who introduced us to the design of our Lone Star colors in our video presentation entitled Sarah's Battle Flag. But first, let me welcome you if this is your first time on our TVC page. You're at the right place if you love and appreciate Texas revolutionary history. We're glad you're here, so please hit the like and subscribe buttons and become part of our family. Additionally, if you don't want to miss out on any future videos, hit the bell notification button right now so you can catch all our stories. Also, please support our efforts at the TVC by purchasing cool Texas-themed merch from our online store. Check out our vast selection of colorful and vibrant, patriotic Texas-themed tees, available in several vibrant colors in both short and long sleeves. The link to our store, TVC promo gear, is provided in the description section. And finally, if you want to learn more about the Tejanos and their participation in our Texas Revolution, remember to order your copy of our book, Tejano Volunteer Company, Stories of Our Texas Revolution, available on Kindle, paperback, and hardcover. The link to request your book is also in the description section below. Now, let's get back to our presentation. In 1823, Sarah's family moved from Kentucky to Texas as part of Stephen F. Austin's Old 300 venture, and the land that was allocated to her family was by the Brazos River, on land now in Brazoria County, just south of modern-day Houston. In 1834, Sarah met a young man she fell in love with at a local dance, and after a 6-month courtship, this young man proposed to her. On May 17, 1835, at 23, Sarah married Archelaus Bynum Dodson from Harrisburg, Texas, modern-day Houston. The couple then moved to Harrisburg to start their life together. Little did the Dodsons know that their lives would change dramatically very soon, because Texas would be in a complete state of revolt against Mexico. Because the coming storm was so evident on the horizon, by early September 1835, militias of Texians were forming throughout the state to participate in the fight for freedom. In September of 1835, the citizens of Harrisburg were invited to the home of William Plunkett Harris, a prominent community citizen, for a revolutionary meeting. At that meeting, the attendants agreed to engage in the fight for Texas freedom by organizing a local militia that history would remember as the Harrisburg Volunteer Company. The man chosen to lead this company of volunteers was Captain Andrew Robinson, who also happened to be one of Stephen F. Austin's Old 300 colonists. Sarah's husband, Archelaus, was elected to be the first lieutenant of that volunteer company. Then, history remembers that Sarah asked to address the volunteers during that historic meeting, shortly after her husband was chosen to be an officer. I would like to volunteer my services for this cause. Can I create the flag for the Harrisburg Volunteer Company? With everyone's approval, Sarah was chosen to design the colors that the volunteers would carry proudly to battle. Lacking silk or bunting, Sarah made the flag out of 3 colored squares of cotton cloth. The square nearest the flagstaff was blue with a white Lone Star centered upon it. The middle square was white, and the outermost square was red. Just before the outbreak of the war, the flag was carried by the Harrisburg Volunteer Company to Gonzales, where an army of Texas colonists was amassing for what history remembers as the first Texian face-off with a Mexican army. And, according to some accounts, Sarah's flag flew next to the "Come and Take It" flag on that historic day. Between October and December of 1835, the Harrisburg Volunteer Company carried the flag through the Siege of Bear campaign, including the Battle of Concepcion, the Grass Fight, and the storming of the Baramendi Palace, where the Harrisburg Volunteers distinguished themselves heroically. Sarah's banner flew in San Antonio during that campaign in 1835, along with the Tejanos y Coahuila flag, Scott's Liberal flag, and Dimit's 1824 flag. These were the dominant and most seen Texian colors at the Siege of Bear. In early 1836, the flag was reportedly returned to Harrisburg when the company returned home for the winter. Still, in early March, it is said to have flown over the building where the historic convention of 1836 met and declared independence from Mexico. Sarah's flag was the only one waving in the wind when Texas became Texas at that historic convention. History remembers that during that historic convention of 1836, the Alamo fell. With the fall of the Alamo, General Houston, with the last remnants of the Texian army, along with all of the people of Texas, were forced to flee from the Mexican army that was now on the march east to squelch the rebellion in what history remembers as the Runaway Scrape. Sarah and her husband then chose to join the retreating Texians in this Texian retreat. During that time, as these patriots ran for their lives, literally, from the advancing Mexican army, Sarah gave birth to a baby girl. Sarah's husband, Lieutenant Archelaus Dodson, was given orders from San Houston to secure the safety of all the children in the retreating group. Unfortunately, Archelaus contracted measles from being around and attending to some sick children and, therefore, could not participate in the final battle of the Revolution, the Battle of San Jacinto. After the Battle of San Jacinto, Sarah and Archelaus returned to Harrisburg only to find that the home they bought as their first home had been burned to the ground by General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna, who ordered the burning of Harrisburg, Texas. Even though Sarah had so far spent the better part of married life amid a rebellion and lost everything she owned, Sarah had not lost hope of a better life with Archelaus and her new baby. After the Revolution, Sarah and her husband decided to start over in Fort Bend County. In 1844, the couple settled in present-day Grimes County, 5 miles northeast of Badiaz, where Archelaus Dodson had located his Headright League for his service to Texas. And, history remembers that sadly, just 4 years later, Sarah Dodson passed away on October 9, 1848, almost 13 years from the day she volunteered to make her flag. History remembers that a young girl who arrived in the back of a covered wagon to Texas gave us our fighting colors because, with minor design adjustments, in 1839, her prototype would morph into the modern flag of Texas. In the end, given all the flags that flew for the fight for Texas, Sarah's flag was one of the most recognizable banners of that rebellion. Sarah Dodson was a true patriot of our Texas Revolution. In September 1935, 100 years after she made her flag, her descendants placed a granite marker at her gravesite. This video presentation is dedicated to all of Sarah's descendants living today in Texas and worldwide. They continue to carry the torch handed down to them by Sarah Bradley Dodson, a Texas patriot of our Revolution, to the benefit of Texas. And, thank you, Sarah, for your beautiful flag, deeds of bravery, and heroic devotion to our Republic, Texas. Thank you for being with us today and allowing us to bring you this video presentation entitled Sarah's Battle Flag. I'm Hayden Armstrong with TVC History. Thanks for watching, and remember, Texas heroines never forget.